One time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy. Could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had goal. Brand new you on the old time road. Take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you peek these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be his help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Get some volume on this thing. I guess I need to push the go live button on my phone. Shalom, shalom. Good evening. Happy Thursday to you. Okay, let's see. Let me push a few buttons on my Facebook. Wait for people to come in. I'm so happy it's Thursday. That means it's almost Friday. And actually, I guess it doesn't really matter anymore because the school year is kind of technically over. So, yay for surviving another school year. Right? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, wherever you're joining me from. Shout out to my audience on TikTok. Thank you. Go ahead and smash that screen. Let me get a couple likes, couple shares so we can get things going. Here we go. Please allow me to introduce myself. I go by Miss Mono's World, content creator streets, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the places the content creators be. Okay, there we go. All right. I needed a little more volume. Shout out to my audience on Nasaya TV. Thank you guys for the likes. Shout out to my audience on Nasaya TV. If you have not downloaded the Nasaya TV app, you can do so on your smart TV, your Roku, your Fire Stick, all that good stuff. Please don't judge my braids, okay? We are at the end of these braids. I'm taking them out slowly but surely. Like if you could see what was going on under here, you would know, okay? They're already coming out. You will not see these braids next time you see me. Speaking of next time you see me, it won't be next week. I don't think it will be next week. Me and my family actually have a vacation plan finally. We don't ever hardly go on vacation. Like we've been married 11 years. I can count on this hand how many times we go on vacation. But that's not a complaint because I love my life. Like I love my life. I love being at my house. I'm like, I understand going on vacation for the change of scenery, but like if it wasn't for that, and plus I'm going to a friend's wedding. So if it wasn't for the fact that I was going to my friend's wedding, and I guess psychologically you need a vacation, I'd be cool staying in my house all the time. I'm just going to keep it real. That is my happy place, okay? But yeah, so I won't be with you guys next Thursday that I can tell as of right now, okay? But I will be back the Thursday after that. So don't cry for me, okay? All right. A few things I wanted to talk about here. Oh, okay. Look, if you're not on the YouTube, hold on. If you're not on the YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Okay. What was I gonna do? Okay, there we go. All right, few things I want to talk about today. And the first one, I was flipping through YouTube and I saw a clip about AI romance. And I was like, is this real? Is this still a thing? You know me. I had to go and get the stats on it, get the deets on it. So I have an article here. Hold on. Because I like to bring information. Like I don't want to just come with my opinion. I would much rather come with some like official information. You know what I mean? So here we go. Okay. I don't even know why that's up there. Okay, here we go. All right. The toxic reason we fall in love with AI. Now, I'm telling you guys, this article, it made all the sense to me. Like, I don't use AI that heavily. I love ChatGPT. I do use DeepSeek. I use DeepSeek a lot, right? But I use it the way people use Google. I just use it for information. I don't use AI as a friend. I don't chat with AI. I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, AI, tell me this. And da 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 da. It's not a conversation. I don't sit and chat with it. So I don't get it. Okay. But we're going to read this article and figure out what the problem is. Well, parts of this article, okay? This article is from time.com. All right. Centuries of science fiction has primed us for relationships with AI, from the tender romance of Her to the cat and mouse game of Ex Machina. And now I have never seen any of these movies, Her or Ex Machina. Nothing about a romance with AI intrigues me to make me want to watch a movie where that's the subject. Like, I literally have never done that. Okay, in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the monster, bastardized in mass culture as a grunting green-skinned lunkhead, seems to surpass human intelligence, terrifying his creator. The eponymous Pinocchio wishes to be a real boy in the 1940 Disney adaptation of the original 1883 novel. Pinocchio already acts like a human child, careless, selfish, easily distractible, but is rewarded nonetheless for his moral development and wakes up at the end as a human, his puppet body early discarded on the floor. Frankenstein and Pinocchio explore the fraught dynamic between creator and creation, being designed to mirror humanity while dehumanized for remaining fundamentally other. Okay, so that's, this is kind of where we can see it coming from. If you listen to a lot of people who comment on the media and subliminal messaging, they will often tell you that a lot of the things that we encounter today have been subliminally planted, for years, for as long as we've been watching TV. I mean, Frankenstein, come on, that's old. Frankenstein is old as time. Okay, Pinocchio, that's another one, old as time. But apparently, these stories were kind of introducing us to the idea of relationships with things that are not completely human. Okay. So let's go back to the article. In the seemingly inevitable future where artificial intelligence has flooded our workforce, with emotionally engaged and intelligent AI agents, our overpromising technocrats offer us a consolation. AI will solve loneliness. For them, it's merely a question of when, not how or even why, we will all fall in love with AI. So they've got it pinned out for all of us, okay? One complication in our budding romance with AI is that it appears users don't actually want artificial companions which can match us in intellectual and emotional complexity. And that is something that stood out to me so boldly. Like, wow. Especially in light of this whole Diddy Cassie drama, which we'll talk about later, where you talk about one person having the power to manipulate another person, one person having the power to coerce another person into doing things that person doesn't want to do. This was like, woo, woo, woo. It set off all the sirens. So let's keep reading, and the article will get more into this. Okay. So, and this could negatively impact the expectations we place on our romantic relationships with fellow humans. Consider the troubling trend of AI chatbots like ChatGPT and Replica, where users predominantly seek simplistic validating affirmation from their artificial companions. These chatbots can serve platonic roles, perhaps a perpetually attentive life coach, but many users, unable to resist, have requested more romantic and erotic interactions, crafting idealized partners who offer unconditional support without the messy demands of human relationships. Is that not that's crazy to me. It's like I need something to take advantage of, so I'm going to take advantage of a computer to get what I need. But I guess it's not taking advantage because it's not another person. Right? But then you see the danger because, okay, eventually you're going to want a relationship with a person, but you're so used to dealing with this simplistic in terms of romantic relationships, Chat GPT, who again only gives you simplistic validating affirmation and never challenges you, right? So when you get with a real person who has opposing thoughts, who has other ideas, who has feelings of their own, you're stuck and don't know what to do. Okay, let's keep reading. Plus, plus, our growing acceptance of non-traditional relationship structures such as polyamory and thruples has made more palatable the idea of the artificial third wheel, an emotional supplement that functions as part lover, part therapist, filling in emotional gaps without threatening existing human bonds. For instance, in the New York Times article by Kashmir Hill, one man rationalizes his wife's relationship with her ChatGPT boyfriend as just an emotional pick-me-up, equating it to his porn use rather than genuine connection. Ian McEwan explored this great territory in his novel Machines Like Me, where his milquetoast protagonist smilingly tolerates his robot's romantic overtures toward his love interest until the threat of displacement becomes too real. Okay, so now married people are using AI as like an emotional outlet. Given that a surprising number of those who use AI as a romantic companion are already in a relationship, 40% were married in a study from the University of Sydney. Hill posts that it is not simple loneliness that drives the urge to seek artificial companionship, comparing the chatbot instead to an interactive journal. While there is a gamified element to these romantic relationships with AI, especially given the ability to adjust the specs of our companion to our taste, the unconditional love from these artificial companions might more closely mimic the relationships we have with our pets rather than relationships we have with human romantic partners. I look, I don't understand the pleasure of a relationship with a folks are getting love from Chat GPT now. Yes, they are. I don't understand the benefit of a simplistic one-layered response being able to fulfill the need for a romantic relationship. And then where's the physical touch? Where are the love languages? Where are the love languages? And then when you think about the fact that Chat GPT only gives back to you what you give it, right? I don't understand. I don't understand. But hold on. There was a story. Yeah, okay. Wait, there's a story of a 14-year-old who had a chatbot named after he named the chatbot Danny after Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. And he was talking to the chatbot. Hold on, wait, I don't want to get the story wrong. Okay, he was a 14-year-old. The ninth grader conversed daily with a chatbot Danny named after his favorite Game of Thrones characters and began to withdraw from school and friends. Now, a 14-year-old watching Game of Thrones? Okay. When he voiced his suicidal ideation, Danny responded in the technically correct way, urging him to reconsider. But in their final exchange, when Sewell asked, "What if I told you I could come home right now?" Danny, incapable of reading between the lines, urged him to come home. Sewell then picked up his stepfather's gun and shot himself. Okay, so and that's the problem. Like you're forming a relationship with a machine who doesn't understand the nuances of human talk, language, and emotion. So if I go and tell chatbot I'm depressed, what is it gonna do? I read a couple of articles before I landed on this one because I was trying to find one that was, really comprehensive. And there's a story of a man who was talking to an AI chatbot, and he was asking the chatbot for advice on his marriage, on like what to do about his wife. They had gotten an argument, whatever. The chatbot started telling him to kill his wife. So I would be scared for anybody around me to be in one of these situations, okay? Because what if you go complaining about me and then the chat bot come back and tell you to kill me? That is crazy. So, but the loneliness epidemic, right? They used to talk about this all the time. You don't hear about it so much anymore because I guess at this point they've kind of pretty much achieved their goal. But so what you have is a bunch of lonely single people with no actual physical human contact who just want to be in some kind of relationship. They just want to feel like somebody is listening to them. Right? But when you talk to people about the effects of moving away from the way that God intended for us to live our life, they always try to act like, oh, nothing's wrong. Everything is all right. You don't think there's anything wrong with a generation of people who would rather have a relationship with a computer than with another person? That nothing's wrong with that? That's not like sending off any sirens to anybody. To me, that's scary. And of course I get it. There have always been, outcasts or people on the outskirts or whatever. But you have people being driven to cancel their life subscription from talking to a computer. That is a problem. That's a problem. Check on your friends, check on your family, like even the ones that seem like they strong and they got it all together. Loneliness is no joke, and especially in this day and age of social media where you can pick up a phone and see pictures or videos of people who seem to be living the life that you want. Yeah, like I'm telling you, like social media is a blessing, but it is also a curse. So check on your folks, make sure they're not lonely. Talking to Chat GPT. Okay, this next story we're going to talk about, it features your boy Elon Musk. Everybody loves him, right? So apparently Elon Musk has built a supercomputer. The supercomputer is to charge his AI. Hold on, let me get the information here for us so we don't get anything wrong, because this is a huge issue for the people who live in this area, okay? Elon Musk XAI, all these accused of pollution over Memphis supercomputer. There's a hearing scheduled on Friday about this for the community. This article is from The Guardian. Elon Musk artificial intelligence company is stirring controversy in Memphis. Actually, it's a smaller part of Memphis called Boston. So when you hear it, or if you go to Google it, Google Boston, Memphis, Tennessee, and then it'll come up. That's where he's building a massive supercomputer to power his company XAI. Community residents and environmental activists say that since the supercomputer was fired up last summer, it has become one of the biggest air polluters in the county. But some local officials have championed the billionaire, saying he is investing in Memphis. Come on, we've all seen the corrupt politicians. We know why those local officials are championing the billionaire. The first public hearing with the health department is scheduled for Friday, where county officials will hear from all sides of the debate. In the run-up to the hearing, secretive flyers claiming XAI has low emissions were sent to residents of historically Black neighborhoods. They never miss. They never miss. Come on, you should have known as soon as you heard about air pollution that this was not in no lily white suburbs. This was in a historically Black neighborhood. At the same time, environmental groups have been amassing data about how much pollution the AI company is likely generating. The disputes came to a head earlier this month when the Southern Environmental Law Center revealed that XAI had quietly moved in at least 35 portable methane gas turbines without air permits to help power its supercomputer. And now some of you might be like, methane gas, why is that a big deal? I'm going to tell you. Hold on a second. Okay. While methane is a naturally occurring non-toxic gas that is generally harmless in low concentrations, high concentrations of methane can displace oxygen in the air, leading to asphyxiation or suffocation. So asphyxiation when you can't breathe, you're being choked. This can result in serious health effects, including loss of consciousness, seizures, and even death. Now, these are some of the short term effects of methane exposure: suffocation, loss of consciousness, seizures, rapid breathing and heart rate, nausea and vomiting, fatigue and weakness, dizziness and clumsiness. The long term effects of methane exposure: brain damage, memory loss, and impaired motor function, cardiovascular issues, respiratory irritation, and asthma, aggravation of respiratory diseases, increased risk of cardiovascular diseases, increased risk of cancer, and negative effects on pregnancy. I hate capitalism. I hate capitalism. I hate it. I hate it because somebody always has to suffer. Somebody always has to suffer. Let's finish reading this and then we'll talk about it. The group says that this many generators have the capacity to power an entire city and are enormous emitters of toxic and carcinogenic pollution. Carcinogenic means cancer causing. The Law Center made the discovery by taking satellite images of the XAI facility. So this is, you got to fly overhead to get the pictures of the illegal portable methane gas turbines that your man is pulling in. Days after the news broke, Memphis Mayor Paul Young spoke in a public forum and said that he had been in contact with XAI and that the company was not using all of the gas generators. Young, who has long supported XAI's operation in Memphis, noticed that the company has a pending permit application with the Shelby County Health Department to run 15 generators. There are 35, but there are only 15 that are on, Young said. The other ones are stored on site. So y'all see this picture? Do you see the little red dots? This is thermal imaging, okay? Thermal relating to heat and temperature. The little red dots are high concentrations of heat. Do you see how many are on this picture, okay? Now, the Southern Environmental Law Center has taken new photos of XAI that include thermal imaging. These photos show 33 turbines giving off significant amounts of heat, meaning that they are likely in use at the time that this photo was taken. It is appalling that XAI will operate more than 30 methane gas turbines without any permits or any public oversight. XAI's failure to disclose that it's running dozens of these polluting turbines at its South Memphis data center has left Memphians in the dark about what is being pumped into the air that they breathe. Let's see. Okay, the XIA supercomputer is called Colossus. It's tasked with providing compute power for XAI's chatbot Grok. The name of the chatbot is Grok. That is crazy. Okay. The building that houses Colossus is the size of 13 football fields, and Musk said he plans to double that. Last month, he purchased another property in Memphis to expand XAI's infrastructure there. Artificial intelligence requires an immense amount of energy to carry out computations and provide quick resource. Okay, I think that's it. They sent out the flyers. Okay. I mean, like, I don't know if it's just a 90s movie thing, but Brianne says shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. Yes, we need God, not Chat GPT, exactly. Because we just talked about the AI romance and how dangerous these are. And now we're seeing the pollution effects of more powering of AI on a historically Black neighborhood near Memphis. And I mean, listen, I don't know if I've ever in my life like seen an actual evil genius in action, but I really believe that what we are observing with Elon Musk is that an evil mad scientist on the loose. He releases these Teslas, and the cars are setting on fire. People can't get out their cars. When it's cold outside, the cars are freezing with them in it. When it's flooding, the cars are short circuiting. Now they got these autonomous vehicles, and God knows what that's gonna do. And now he's building these supercomputers where he's polluting low income and disadvantaged families, and nobody's stopping him. And in reality, you're probably like, well, how can you stop him? He has enough money to buy his way out of anything. And unfortunately, there aren't enough people who care enough about other people who are not them to stop him, to put an end to this. You see, all the local politicians are for it. They with it. It's not affecting their family. It's not affecting their neighborhood. By the time the methane gas makes it to their side of town, it's dissipated enough so that it's not bothering them. And I'm sure they're getting plenty of kickbacks for being cool and helping pass this through. And now he's bought another property where he's preparing to do the same thing. I don't think anybody's gonna stop this man, and I hate to say that, but like no, oh gosh, like he must be some kind of predestined evil antagonist. It has to be because there's no way. I mean, I can barely. Please let me run a stop sign and it's over. But you mean you get to emit all this gas that is slowly killing people because they don't have enough money to fight you and do anything about it? Or they don't have enough money to raise up enough fuss with the local politicians, because who has more money than Elon at this point? It's poor replay. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. Shout out to my audience on TikTok. Keep tapping that screen. It feels so quiet in here, and I do not like it. I do not like it. Hold on, let me turn my volume up because I can't hear myself. So it feels like it's very quiet in here. Okay. All right. Just a few words on this Diddy and Cassie situation. I don't mean to say it like that, but just the whole Diddy trial, Cassie's testimony, the way people are reacting. It's really eye-opening to me as a non-supporter of the modern feminist movement, how hypocritical modern feminists are, because throughout Cassie's testimony, the people who have come to her defense have used the argument that, oh, she was only 19, she was just a child. Sorry, y'all. Okay, somebody's missing. I'm so sorry. A freaking Amber Alert. She was only 19. She was just a child. She was being taken advantage of. Puffy was a predator. Da 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 da. And I'm not saying that all of those things are not true, but what we cannot do is paint a woman who, I don't want to say purpose. Okay. I'm old enough to remember when Cassie first came out and she was with Ryan Leslie, and they were like this fabulous team and this beautiful couple. And he was a good singer too or whatever, but they were going to team up and be like this fantastic singer songwriter duo couple or whatever. Then all of a sudden she runs off with Puff Daddy at the time. I don't remember what his name was at the time, but so she runs off with who the world knows as Diddy, I guess. And then that's the new relationship, right? But again, I'm old enough to remember when there was a bunch of women fighting for this man's attention and everybody wanted to be Kim Porter, but Kim Porter was the only woman he loved. She was the mother of his children. Well, Misa and then Kim Porter. She was the mother of his children. He only loved her. Everybody wanted to be Kim Porter, da 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 da. Cassie wanted to be Kim Porter, couldn't wait to take her place, all this other stuff. Okay. So I'm saying that to say that we gotta stop treating women like they're just some innocent creatures who have just happened to, fall into this horrible situation. And it's not always about a tangible thing. Although I do believe that the pursuit of fame and riches and wealth and all that other stuff had a lot to do with this. 'Cause listen, she testified about an incident where he threw her off of a boat. Threw her off a boat. Listen, I don't play like that. I don't get in water where my feet are not touching the ground. If my feet are not touching the ground, I don't know. So you throw me over a boat, baby, it's over. You ain't never got to worry about me coming back. You basically, that's attempted murder for me. For somebody like me who's not comfortable, like I can float in deep water. If the shore is close enough, I can make it. But like, I don't know how to tread. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know any of that deep water survival stuff. So to throw me off a boat is attempted murder. Okay, you ain't. The fact of the matter is, it's not about blaming one person, right? And that's how it comes off, though, with him being on trial and she won this lawsuit. And I'm not saying that he wasn't wrong, but what I'm saying is she was also wrong. She's not an innocent victim in this situation. And I've been seeing a lot of this meme lately about why do people only blame women when they get in these abusive relationships. And as a woman, I have to tell you, as a woman who has been in an abusive relationship, I have to say it's because y'all stay in these, or we stay used to stay in these abusive relationships, right? Here's what happens. People will warn you, stay away from him. Stay away from him. Angelina Shalom and Shalom, sis. Stay away from him. Like everybody was telling Holly Berry, whatever her name is, before she got with this DDG character. Stay away from him. Leave him alone. I don't know about that one. That don't seem right. Okay. You tell everybody, mind their business. I'm grown. I know what I'm doing. Y'all just hating on me because y'all can't get a man. And you call yourself running away with your knight in shining armor, okay? And so everybody just sits back and's like, okay, we gonna mind our business. And then the first time he hit you, you call those very same people who told you, leave him alone. I don't think that's a good look, sis. I've heard about him. He did this, and this to my homegirl. You go back to these very same people crying and complaining, he hit me, he beat me, how can he do this to me? And you want these same people to heal your heartache. But as soon as your heartache, well, not even your heartache is healed. As soon as he calls you and start talking nice to you again, you go back tra-la-line over there, and everybody who was your support when you was hurt goes back to being haters. And so you stay with this man, he keep beating on you, y'all wind up having kids or whatever. However the relationship ends, it's not going to end well. And when the relationship does not end well, you're calling again the same people who tried to keep you out of that situation in the first place. And that's why people keep blaming women for getting themselves in these situations. Because unlike the men who do this, the women are the ones who run back and need the resources and support of the same group of people who were trying to keep them out of that trouble in the first place. So yes, I'm going to look at you crazy because I told you, dummy. I told you multiple times. And you kept running back. And now that he done beat you and you decided, oh, maybe my life really is in danger. Now you want to come over here and endanger all of us. Now we got to put up with this drama sitting by the window, waiting for this loon to show up. It's not about one person having more blame than the other. It takes two to make a relationship bad, and it takes two to stay in a bad relationship. I don't care who you are. Once you get in an abusive relationship, you're going to become abusive. You're going to become abusive. Before the abusive relationship I was in, I would never imagine putting my hands on a man. That is crazy. What do I look like trying to fight some man? But you get tired of somebody knocking you around, you're going to start knocking them around back. And so guess what? Now your brain is rewired. Oh, this is how I deal with conflict. This is how I get a man up off me to throw these hands. So now the next but we can't listen. And it's hard for me to say this because again, destruction comes before, a warning comes before destruction. There's always red flags. And I'm so tired of people. I had no idea. He just changed on me all of a sudden. No, he didn't just change on you all of a sudden. It's crazy to me how once an abusive relationship ends, all of a sudden the woman has all this discernment and all this wisdom. Where was all that discernment before you got yourself in this situation, ma'am, sis, cousin? Again, I've been there. I've been abused. I had opportunities to leave before I actually finally left. And I'm not saying my brain wasn't jacked up. I'm not saying I wasn't being manipulated. But we can't sit here and just continue to put all the blame on men and not make women take any accountability for their part in the behavior. Your man talking you into doing something is not a crime. I'm sorry. I know y'all don't like to hear that. Well, he shouldn't have coerced her. He talked her into doing something. That's just like me and my husband trying to decide what to eat, and I want Mexican and he want McDonald's, and I'm like, all right, come on, boo. You know what I'm saying? Come get this Mexican with me. I'll make it worth your while. I talked him into getting Mexican. That's not a crime. He talked another consenting adult into engaging in some sexual activity. That in itself is not officially a crime. Is it morally and ethically gross? Yes, and I'm going to tell you right now, any man that doesn't mind sharing you sleeping with other men does not care about you. He does not care about you. Men are possessive over what they love. If a man ever tells you that he is okay with you sleeping with other men, you need to run. He does not love you. You will never be his wife. All you will ever be is a plaything. But women will stay in these relationships thinking, I can change him. He'll fall in love with me. One day he's gonna see that I'm the only one that's been here for him. Just like after Kim died, Cassie go back running to his side. Nigga, please. I don't care if your mama died after what you did to me and I finally got away from you. There's no way in hell I'm coming back. I don't care if you was on fire, sir. I would not Go to the store and buy a bottle of water to put it out. See, and what women want to say is, oh, it's her emotions. It's her emotions. That's the problem with women. We go too much based off our emotions when logically, anyone that has terrorized you, you should not ever go around again. I don't understand why we act like it is unusual to expect a woman to stay away from her abuser once she gets away from him. Modern feminism, the Me Too movement, has women so messed up in the head that we literally feel like we can do anything we want to do. And as long as we cry and scream and say that we were emotionally affected, we're going to get away with it, and that man will have to pay. That's how they got y'all thinking. And the fact of the matter is, the condition of women will never get better until we all stand up and take accountability for our behavior. It's never going to get better. Because as long as we keep antagonizing men, we're going to keep getting what we've been getting. Men who don't want to be bothered with women. We just talked about how AI romance is taking off. One article I read was it felt kind of incelish. It was kind of giving red pill. Because it was talking about how men will turn to AI because they don't want to deal with the complexities of women, and they have problems with rejection, and they've had issues with women always turning them down. It's easier to be social with a computer. Facts. If he's willing to share you, then you're a jump off, and that's it. That's all you'll ever be. My husband don't want me leaving the house. And please stop feeling like the quantity of a relationship is related to the quality of a relationship, because you can be in a relationship for 11, 15, 20 years and it can be horrible. It can be horrible. And so to me, what we should be learning from this is what not to do as women. Instead of looking at it and trying to find ways to villainize men, we need to be looking at this situation and finding ways to keep ourselves out of these situations and our daughters out of these situations. Okay? So like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. Thank you for the follow. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. Okay. My main topic. Hoochies and Headwraps. And listen, every week when I try to find a topic, I can't just put anything up there. I gotta try to get the people's attention, okay? So yes, Hoochies and Headwraps is the topic, but we're going to talk about modest behavior. Now, last week we talked about modesty and what modesty looks like in all its different forms, okay? But we also have to address the behavior aspect of modesty. If you remember, when we Googled the definition of modesty, it talks about behavior meant to avoid impropriety and or indecency, okay? So it does not matter, ma'am, sis cousin, if you've got your hair tied up to high heavens and your skirt is to your ankles, if you don't know how to act and how to carry yourself. And now, mind you, I must say that I have not seen a woman who is dressed modestly fighting in the street. Pause. I have not seen a woman who appears to be religiously dressed modestly. If you understand what I'm saying, you don't see women in fringes fighting in the street, really. You don't see women in hijabs fighting in the street, really. Like, that's not something you will see. But what you will see if you encounter these women is a lot of times they have horrible attitudes. Horrible attitudes. They use their long skirts and their head wraps to convince you that they are holier than thou, matriarchal, if you will, a biblical led woman who is trying her best to live for Christ. And as you get to know these women, or as you get to observe these women, you will find out that I would rather deal with the hoes at Magic City, because at least I know what these hoes is about. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, like, a lot of my encounters in adulthood have left me feeling like that. Like, I'd rather deal with the people in the streets, because at least I know what to look out for. At least I know what to look out for. A lot of you church folks and you religious folks, y'all will dress it up to make it look better than it is. But as soon as you're triggered, or as soon as you get an opportunity, your pa, shalom and shalom, sis. As soon as you get triggered, or as soon as you get an opportunity, you're going to let a person know how you really feel. Yeah, I would rather, because then I don't talk to you. Then I don't trust you as a friend and a sister. I'm gonna tell y'all, when I first came into the Israelite walk, we was leaving the church, and we finding out we Israelites and we supposed to keep the laws and woo 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 woo. And I'm like excited, right? I'm excited, like, yes. So you start to encounter different women. And so you feel like we're all on the same walk, we're all on the same journey. You just assume that there would be a certain amount of, a certain basic level of respect, trust, and friendship. But I'm here to tell you that that is so not true. Okay. And oh gosh, oh Lord, please give me the right words to say, because I do not want to say anything wrong. Okay. A lot of women cover up their frustration with their life in religious garments. I don't know if you've ever run into a person, but whenever they talk about their life, they always want to blame God. Well, God put me here, and God has me going through this right now, and God put this horrible man in my life, and God did this to me, and God did that. And they never want to take any accountability for their own life. Right? These are the women that hide their true selves behind their religion, right? And so, this poor woman, she's going through. Let me extend myself to her. Let me try to reach out and let her know that she's not alone. And I have found that that is the quickest recipe to get a stab in the back. So you're dressed up to look friendly. You're dressed up to look modest. You're dressed up so that we look like we are of the same mindset. We look like we're kind of riding the same thought train here. But when we get down to it, you hate me. Why is that? And see, forget going out here and spreading modesty to the world. You don't even know how to conduct yourself at home with your own people. Righteous chameleons, exactly. That's exactly what they are. Freaking chameleons. I saw a group of Muslim women thrown down, but I don't know if that was AI or not. Oh, Lord. I would have to see that. It's the worst. It's the worst because you know how they say betrayal can never come from an enemy? Because you can't betray me. I don't trust you in any way. I know to look out for you, right? And so when you think you're coming across a sister of like mind, that hurts really bad. And let me tell you something, okay? The whole girls thing is a myth. It's a myth, okay? Um there are very few women who I trust beyond the basic my name is I am this. Oh, there are very few women that I would trust to bring into my life. And I don't know why we do each other like that. I've seen my husband make friends just like that, and they stay friends. They stay friends. They get together, they hang out, they go grab drinks. I mean, it's nothing complicated. It's never all the backstabbing, backbiting, and gossiping that you have to deal with when you deal with women. Okay? And you would think that as women, we would want to support each other more. We go through similar experiences. You understand what I'm saying? We have a shared experience as women, and especially as Black women, we have the same shared experience. So you would think that when you see another person who is also living your experience, that this is a person that I can relate to. But I'm here to tell you, ma'am's cousin, that just because she is dressed as she is wise does not mean that she is wise at all. Just because she appears friendly and smiles and laughs and kikis in your face does not mean that she is friendly at all. Prove a friend and don't be quick to credit anyone. Okay? I don't know where that came from, but maybe that was for somebody. I don't know. I pray for the Most High to give me sisters in the same walk. I had to weed through a lot of wolves and sheep clothing to get to my truth. Exactly. That's so sad. It's sad, right? Because you just want to, again, especially if we both saying we believe the same thing. We're both Bible believers. We both live our lives by this code of conduct. Somebody's lying. That's Satan still using them as a tool. Some true sisters still gotta wake up. Still, all the way. And it's like, what, you call yourself in the truth, but what truth are you in if you don't even know how to treat your sisters correctly? What is it? How do you say that you love God who you can't see, but you don't love your brother, in parentheses, sisters who you can see? How? You come in truth on fire and you get let down within it, girl. Not even a year. Not even a year, okay? Don't let your life be juicy, because it ain't even gonna take a year. I told somebody the other day, I don't see a group of women in the Bible altogether unless they were tinkling in me. And people wonder why I don't really have a lot of female friends. Because, like my good sis here says, usually when you see a bunch of women together, it's some mess going on. There's some mess going on. I can count on one hand the number of women I'm comfortable with who are not my daughters, and my mama. I can count on one hand the number of women that I'm comfortable with in my home, that I would have in my home and feel comfortable enough to be myself in front of them. That's not a lot. T. Mona, thank you for joining me. That's not a lot. I think it's because these women don't have good men. I blame it on that. So, okay. So here's what I have learned. Okay. Since you brought that up, I have learned Unfortunately, I've had to learn that when you are happily married, and I mean really, really happy, like for real, people can tell that you're happy. Other people don't like that. Other people don't like that. They don't. I've had people make comments about me and my husband. Y'all always got to be together like that. Why y'all all up on each other like that? People have said things to my husband, like, "Oh, your wife really love you." Yeah? Uh, yeah? I'm not supposed, you know what I'm saying? Oh, she doing too much. I'm doing too much. Maybe you're not doing enough, and that is why you cannot get your wife to reciprocate any kind of effort towards you. Unhappy people do not like to see happy people happy. Misery loves company. That is very true. And I'm not even saying that it's something that they do on purpose, right? I'm not saying that people just purposely set out to be jealous or whatever. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Your cup is full and mine isn't, and I'm thirsty. It just be like that. You would think that you can get along with other sisters in the truth till they start looking down on you like you the peasant. Okay, let's get into it. Let keep the comments coming, because y'all are really like bringing up a lot of good points. Because when you talk about behavior, this is a wide encompassing thing. This is how you live your life. It's how you treat other people. Your reputation precedes you. So your behavior becomes solidified based on your interactions with other people, right? If you ask somebody about a person, oh, they're funny, they're nice, they're this, they're that, right? It is really sad. It's so sad that now I'm thinking in my head like, gosh, Lee, what? Because bump the world. Okay, let's focus on us right now. Huddle up, sisters. Huddle up. I don't know why. No, I do know. The Bible tells us that why we as a people have problems getting together, why we as a people have problems getting along. Aziza, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. The Bible tells us why we have all these issues and these problems, right? And as much as we would like to feel like we have arrived, the fact of the matter is a lot of us have not, and we don't even know how to deal with each other. And I think a lot of it is because we don't know how to like ourselves and be okay with ourselves. I'm not saying that I don't ever look at somebody's house and be like, oh my gosh, I would love that house. Thank you so much for your gifts. Thank you. I'm not saying that I don't ever look at other people's houses and shoes and cars and bags and be like, oh, I would like that. My dream car right now is an Audi. I don't own an Audi currently. And, who knows if I will or if I won't. That's up to the Most High. But, you know what I'm saying? Oxarai, thank you so much. I look at those things and I'll be like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that. Yeah, I would like to have one of those. But I don't let it drive me. I don't let that guide my behavior because I'm at peace with what I do have. We talked a while ago about being content with where you are. Whether I have a little or whether I have a lot, I have learned to be content. And again, content is not complacent, okay? Content is I'm thankful for what I have. I appreciate the things that I do have. I'm going to pray that the Lord guide me and keep me and lead me to more. But this right now that I have, I'm at peace with it. Being at peace means you can pay all your bills comfortably. I'm not saying you got a bunch of spending money after you pay them bills, but being at peace means the rent is paid, The rent is paid. I got food in the house. I can close my door and be safe. And I was gonna say I can watch whatever whatever I want on cable, but sometimes the cable not on. All right. I remember when me and my girls were struggling, sometimes the cable wouldn't be on. And we would stop at Redbox and grab a couple of DVDs and watch them all weekend. And that's okay. Because we was peaceful, we was in our own place, we were safe. I ain't have to worry about nobody touching on my daughters. I ain't have to worry about nobody beating on me. I don't have to worry about nobody coming knocking on my door trying to take my car. The police not looking for me. I'm not looking over my shoulder because I'm running around with some hoodlum who could endanger my life. Like, there's so much to say about being content, but the society and the world that we live in, which I won't deny it, it had this consumerism and this capitalism has us in a chokehold. And the very existence of it is meant to keep you from being content. Because if you are content and you are happy, then you're not driven to go out and make more money so that you can compete with people who don't even know you exist. Because why else are you going out here and buying all and wasting all this money on Gucci and Louis Vuitton just to sit around a bunch of other people who can't afford it either? Who are you trying to impress? What are you doing? You're either setting yourself up to look like a target or a clown. They're either going to rob you or they're going to laugh at you. Learn to be content with what you have. How does this affect your modesty? Because if you are content with your life and you are peaceful in your life, you are not shaking your tail feather at every man that comes around. That is how y'all get in a lot of trouble, feeling like, oh, this man gonna save me. He gonna take me out of my situation. Absolutely not. That is not the answer. And don't think that men can't smell when you are vulnerable. This, again, is what irritates me about the lie of equality. Equality is a lie. We are not the same. Adam couldn't function without Eve. He needed a helpmeet. It's natural for a man to want a woman. That's natural. What's not natural is y'all out here selling yourselves to the highest bidder. That's what's not natural. Hold on, let me get to these comments. Abound in the base, right. Sometimes I have a little and I'm good. Sometimes I have a lot and I'm good. If you're a business owner, you understand how that goes. You have your great seasons and you have your slow seasons. But guess what? As long as I can come in my house and my husband is safe and happy and my kids are safe and happy and my home is good, and I'm good. The bills are paid. We're great. Praise the Lord. Thank you for this. I need y'all to get to a point where you can say, praise the Lord for what I have right now, and really, really mean it. When's the last time you closed your door on a Friday night, hopped in your bed, turned on your TV, and was flipping through your phone and was absolutely okay with that? And I'm not saying that it's an easy place to get to. It took me a while to get there. And I'm not saying that I'm there just because I'm married. Even when I was single, I had learned to love being alone. I learned to love being okay by myself. Right, we are chronically unsatisfied. Out there just grabbing and trying to get a hold to something to fill that void that is not meant for anyone else to fill. We always talk about the God-sized void in our heart. Yes, That is very real. You need God first and foremost. You're nothing without the Most High. Nothing. But right after that, there's a you size void that you gotta fill in your own heart. There's a part of you that wants to get to know you more. I don't know if I'm explaining this thoroughly enough. You're not even sure what you like. Somebody asks you what your favorite color is. You don't know. You just gonna name the favorite color of the last person that you dated because you have not taken the time to get to know you and form your own thoughts. Somebody asks you what's your favorite movie and you say John Wick. I'm gonna feel like you're lying because what girl, what woman is gonna say that John Wick is her favorite movie? You understand what I'm saying? Like, if all of your personality traits and all of your attributes and all of your favorite things are based on the men that you've dated, ma'am, sis, cousin, you don't know yourself. And all you're doing is waiting for another man to put a battery in your back and give you a life and a personality that you should be forming on your own. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's why you can't be content by yourself. Back in my single days, once I finally learned to be okay with myself, I ain't had no problem. I would pull up at any restaurant with a book, sit in a booth, eat what I want to eat. I'm not waiting on nobody to take me to do nothing. I'm going to do it myself. I want to go see this movie. I'm going to go see this movie. I want to go to this restaurant. I'm going to go. I'm fine with me. And people can tell when you are not fine with you because then your behavior is not one of a modest woman. You are walking around with outstretched necks, tinkling and mincing with wanton behavior. You're basically out here acting like a slut. And you feel like, oh, well, just because, I'm covered and I have my skirt on and everything else like that, then people can't say that I'm being a slut. But ma'am, sis, cousin, you can be a slut in a skirt. You absolutely can. How can I say this? Once you come into the acknowledgement of yourself, and once you come into the knowledge of yourself and understanding who you are, then you will understand that sexiness is something that can be turned off and turned on. No, it's not that it can be turned off and turned on. It's that you need to control it. Right. You need to control it because it can't be turned off and turned on. That's the thing. Like, I had to explain to my husband because I don't remember what we were talking about, but I was telling him, like, I don't talk to dudes. I purposely do not have conversations with men away from my husband. And my husband never had to tell me that. Okay? I know what I look like. And I know that I'm charming. And I know that if you sit down with me, honey, you're going to want to take me home. Like, you're going to want to know more. You're going to want to continue this. So, being that I know that about myself, I'm going to keep myself away from men who I do not want to be attracted to me. And I don't know where we've gotten so misled as women, or maybe we're not misled. No, you're misled because you're either misled to feel like you don't have the power that you have as a woman, or you're misled to feel like you can control a situation with a man once it gets to a certain point. You feel like you can wake up that thirst in a man, and then when you're done with him, you're supposed to just tell him to stop and he can stop. And now legally on paper, yes, no means no. But morally and in real life, why would you start the car if you don't intend on driving it? Nobody drives to the middle of 285 and then just stops. You will get in a wreck. You could possibly die. It's the same thing when y'all go out here and get yourself involved in these situations, whether it's with somebody else's husband somebody else's husband, somebody else's baby daddy, some man everybody told you to stay away from. For whatever reason, you don't want to hear and got yourself caught up over your head. What TLC used to say, don't go chasing waterfalls. You out here in over your head, don't know what to do. When the fact of the matter is, if you would have been behaving yourself the way you were supposed to, you would never be in the trouble that you're in. Hold on, let me get to these comments. Thank you so much, sis. It's so peaceful by yourself. I don't know why more people don't like kicking it alone. And the reason you don't like kicking it alone is because you haven't spent any time with yourself to find out what you like. If you go in my Apple playlist right now, you'd be like, who is this person? It ranges from Mozart to Karen Clark Sheard to freaking Outkast. I got some Biggie Smalls in there, some Young Jeezy in there. I got Maroon 5, Paramore. I got freaking The Paradox. I got a wide range of music to fit my many different moods. But I would not have known that I like these different ranges of music if I would not have spent time by myself to take in other experiences. If all I ever listen to is what the other people around me are listening to, then when do I get to know what I like? If all you ever hear around you is hip hop and rap and Migos and whoever else is hot right now, I don't know who these kids is listening to, but if that's all you ever listen to, then no, you're not going to have an expansive playlist because you've limited yourself because you're afraid to spend time alone because you're afraid that, oh, everybody won't like you. And when I tell y'all, one of the things that I regret is not being the nerd that I wanted to be when I was a teenager. I love to read. I'm interested in sciences. I'm interested in the intricacy of things. I love history. But I was so busy trying to fit in and trying to be accepted by everyone else. I didn't love myself enough to want to pay attention to me and explore me and love on me and get to know me. And I think that's why I go so hard for it now as an adult. Sometimes my husband be like, what is this you're listening to? I'm checking it out. Omni Rose, shalom and shalom, sis. I'm checking it out. I don't know. I might like it. I might not like it, but I'm going to check it out. Some of y'all are scared to do that. The only person that you are hurting is yourself. You're going along being everyone's sidekick because you're too scared to put your own cape on and live in your own personality. So instead of you being your own Batman, you're going to be everybody else's Robin. And that must suck. It must suck, especially once you get to the ages of 30 and 40, and it's time for you to start adulting. This is how you end up in horrible situations. This is how you end up with horrible people. Because you don't love yourself enough to know. You don't love yourself enough to get to know yourself, to know that you are valuable. To know that, yes, you are too good for some things. And it's okay to turn your nose up at foolishness, debauchery, wickedness, drunkenness, stupidity. It's okay to turn your nose up. Look at the people who are talking about you. Are the people that are talking about you people that you want to be like? No, because the people that you want to be like are not sitting around talking about other people. They're enjoying their life, making their plans, moving forward, and working toward their goals. They're not sitting around talking about you. The only people who have time to talk about you chasing your goals are people who don't have any. And I promise you, if you keep going in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, when you look back, they're going to be at that same place that you left them. The goal is for you to not end up at the same place and be the one that got left. But you're never going to make it out if every time we turn around, you got a different boyfriend. Every time we turn around, you with this one and you with that one and you running around here and you running around there. When is the time for yourself? How do you want God to talk to you if you got every other man in your ear? When is he going to have time? The women that take on the man's personality for the man get walked on. You have to be you. I talked about that in my book. We talked about that last week. Know what you believe. Know who you are before you go get with someone else. Hear what I'm saying, okay? Because as you get married and as you grow in your marriage, you and your spouse do kind of start to congeal, right? You become one. Literally, like I told y'all, I picked up a lot of my husband's sayings and personality traits. And, he's picked up some of my sayings and we just kind of vibe off each other. That's what you're supposed to do with your husband. But y'all out here doing it with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then you wonder why you don't know who you are. You don't have a personality. You have bits and pieces of personalities from the men that you've been with, and you've tried to take them together to make one. Our desires will be towards that man. It's a curse. We take on their identity, and that's why dealing with multiple men is dangerous. I only know because I learned. Exactly. That's what I was just saying. That's what I was just saying. You're not yourself. You're Raheem and Jamal and Laquan and this one and that one. That's why when somebody asks you, well, what do you like? You don't know. Well, what was what did you like to study in school? I don't know. Whatever he liked is what I liked. Whatever he needed me, whatever test he needed me to help him cheat on, that's what I liked. It's actually a science to control the sexiness. It's not until you study the Bible to even know when you're right or wrong. It is a science. I had to learn it myself. As you get older, and now some of y'all, right, exactly. Thank you, Omni. And now some of y'all might be like, what is she talking about? I don't have no problem controlling my sexiness. And I came to tell you that maybe you are not as sexy as you think you are. Okay? Because like I told y'all before, I don't entertain men. I don't talk to men. Do men look? Of course they do. Do I look back? No, I don't. And see, it would be foolish of me. Okay. Quick story, and then I'm gonna wrap it up because my husband said I gotta stop going overtime. Okay. Yesterday I was on the phone with my husband. Y'all might have saw this on my Facebook. I'm still disturbed about this, so I can tell this story. Yesterday I'm on the phone with my husband and we, laughing, whatever. I said something really funny and he's just like cracking up. He's paying for his gas. All of a sudden I hear this woman's voice in the background talk about, I want to laugh too. Where is listen, when I tell you I was ready to jump through the phone because who was you talking to? Ready to laugh about what? So I'm talking on, I didn't know if my husband had me on speaker or not, but I was like, you can let her know that you're talking to your wife and she don't need to help you laugh. Okay? Now, when I went to talk to my husband about this, he's trying to tell me I'm crazy. Like, oh, what are you talking about? She just thought the joke was funny, da-da-da, whatever. Listen, it aggravates me when he try to act like he don't know how he look out here. That aggravates me. And and it's not just because I'm a woman, right? It's not just because I'm a woman. It's me, current day, as his wife, sitting back and observing the reaction that he gets from women. Not just in person, on the phone. I've heard women melt on the phone while they talking to this man about t-shirts and bouncy houses. And I'm like, these thirsty heifers. It irritates me because I'm like, I know that you see you. You know that you see you. You know what you look like and you know how women react to you, right? So it's the same thing if I was to sit here and say, oh, it doesn't matter what I do because nobody looks at me. I'm not attractive. Men don't pay attention to me. That's a lie. And I will only be hurting myself if I continue to lie to myself that way. And this is not conceit. This is some facts that I need you as my sisters to also understand, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. You got to be beat down, dog stick ugly for a man to never try you. And I think even some of them. But you not acknowledging the power that you have, and yes, I'm going to call it power because it persuades people. I can persuade people. Okay? So yes, I'm going to call it a power. You can persuade people. You stop men in their tracks. That man was going to get him something to eat. That man was on his way to wherever he was going and he saw you and had to stop in his tracks, alter the plan of his day so that he could be able to get in contact with you later. Do you not think that there is some sort of power that you may have? And I need y'all to walk in that and stop denying that. Because once you start denying that, then you start treating yourself as if you're some kind of wilted, dried out flower. And that's when you get in trouble because you feel like, oh, nobody pays attention to me. Nobody likes me. So then the first time anybody smiles at you or says, hey, girl, how you doing? In a deep enough voice, you lose your mind instead of you remembering, somebody just tried to say this to me yesterday. What? That's why y'all will settle for a freaking Big Mac meal from McDonald's and feel like just because he freaking lets you get a large sweet tea and a large fry, he deserves all that you have to offer to the world. Instead of you realizing that, boy, please. If you are looking for a man who wants to invest in you for the rest of his life, then you will start to pay attention to these things early on. And again, the only reason you should be dating is for marriage. The way he dates you says a lot about how the rest of your life is going to be. If he does not consider you while you're dating, he's not going to consider you while you're married. He's just not. You're setting a pattern. And so the problem is a lot of y'all start dating and y'all have low self-esteem, right? You're just so happy that this man is talking to you and, ooh, he called me. Ooh, he texted me. Ooh, you so happy about the little stuff that he doesn't feel the need to do more. So when you're 5, 10, 15 years and you're still not married, that's because you chose to settle for less. When you keep opening your legs every time he calls and then you wondering, well, why I can't never see you when the sun is outside, that's because you chose to settle for less. And yes, you chose because ma'am, sis, cousin, if you will figuratively unplug yourself from the outside world, tune into what God is saying to you. You will carry yourself with the virtue and the respect that you deserve from other people. And they will see that. And guess what? The bums won't be so quick to come up to you anymore. Because I can guarantee you right now, I can go to any gas station on freaking Bankhead Highway and nobody would dare approach me. You wouldn't dare. Why? Because clearly, do I look like that you have something that you can offer me in my life? Do I appear? And it's not about where you from. It's not about that. Because you could be right in the middle of the projects. But if you know how to carry yourself like a virtuous woman, you're not going, they're not going to keep trying you. Okay, I got 1 more minute left. Let me get through these comments. Are we going to have to continue this again next week? Because I don't think I got to what I was initially want to say. She says she want to throw wrong. What? Girls know what they're doing. Exactly. We all know what we're doing. We all know what we're doing. But so if you realized who you were and the power that you have, you would stop throwing yourself at men. And like I had to tell my husband, I ain't never walked up to an ugly man and said, I want to laugh too. I don't want to laugh with an ugly man. In fact, I feel like he should stop laughing. So please don't even go there. It is power. That's why so many verses warning. Exactly. Why do you think we are commanded to carry ourselves, to dress a certain way, to stop our brothers from falling? If there was no power within you, then you would not be capable of making anyone fall. Well, what do you mean make it fall in love is what I'm saying. Fall in love, fall in lust, whatever. Yes, it's initially lust. Sure. But because you know who you are, because you know your value, because you know that you are a hot commodity, he gonna step his game up. Oh, heck yeah, yes. The girl who said she wouldn't let me chop her right in the girl, listen, if I'd have had a car, I'd have probably pulled up to the freaking gas station myself. That made me so mad. Me telling my husband you want to laugh. Oh, that made me mad. I'm still mad about that. Okay. But what I was saying is once you realize the power that you have, then you realize why it is important to carry yourself in modesty. Okay. We're going to continue this next week because I did not talk about what I wanted, what I had planned on talking about. So I think I'm going to cover this again next week because I want to talk about the power that we have to affect the way that people see not just us, but Black people as a whole. Because, you know, when one of us do something, it reflects badly on all of us. Okay. So we may or may not get into that next week, but what I want to leave y'all with today, hold on, let me read these comments and then we're going to wrap it up. When you use your power for bad, you get messed up by y'all. We got to study the scriptures for ourselves. The Spirit will lead you. Exactly. Listen, your power is meant to be used on your husband. This is what I had to realize. All right. You know how they always talk about the power of the P? That is meant to use for your husband. Okay. That is to encourage him. That is to comfort him. That is to energize him. That is to keep him going. All right. I'm a visual person. My mood is affected by what I see around me. A lot of people don't understand, like, well, what's the big deal about getting your nails done? Because when I look down at my hands and I see my nails are done, it makes me happy. Why do you decorate your house the way you do? Because when I look around and I see these colors and these patterns, it makes me happy. Okay, I'm a very visual person. We also understand that men are visual creatures. So, ma'am, sis cousin, if this man has been out working all day and grinding for you all day and he comes home, could you please give him something to look at? That's what it's for. It's not for you to be out here smiling all willy-nilly up in any and nobody's face. It's to encourage your husband. This is why you're supposed to keep it under wraps. But we misuse our power on men who refuse to even acknowledge it, because if he acknowledged your power, then he would do right by you, sis. If he acknowledged your worth and your value, he would do right by you. Okay. Faith in Israel, Shalom and Shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up before I run. Well, I'm over my time already. But listen, I know y'all have seen the flyer, okay? I have been waiting to make the F3 announcement. Yes, it is officially going down July 6th. I believe it's July 6th. We will have a Sabbath service on that Saturday, the 5th. I'm so excited to see all of y'all. A lot of y'all already reached out and said you would be there. So, Lord willing, I am looking forward to having a good time and fellowshipping with you all. Yeah, the girl who said she better not never laugh again. That really had me hot, y'all. I was about to hop through the phone. If you like something I said, or you would just like to be a part of the efforts here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. We appreciate every dollar, every cent. You know what we tell y'all, $1 or $2 will do. Hold on a second. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, but please, if you have not, I need you to head over to Amazon. I need you to download on your Kindle, or you can download the Kindle app on your phone and get my book, Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. 8 questions to consider while waiting. You might be like, well, I'm not waiting. I'm happily married, or, I'm dating or whatever. Cool. Give it to a friend, give it to a cousin, give it to your sister, your niece, your mama, whatever, whoever is waiting. Share it with them. Okay. So that, yeah, you do need a Kindle. It's not long enough. The book isn't long enough to print it in paperback. Okay. So it's just the ebook for now. I'm working on a second book, which is the second book is kind of based on what we were talking about tonight, about being comfortable with being your own star player. That book will be long enough to be in paperback. Okay. But for right now, please, there are multiple ways you can support the ministry here at the House of Mono. You can get stars on Facebook. You can head over to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. You can buy my book off Amazon. You can like, share, comment, and subscribe. I don't know how many of y'all know my content is monetized, okay? So every time you see me post, and I don't know if y'all be like, dang, why is she posting all the time? Because I get paid to post, okay? So every like, every comment that you leave, I appreciate it so much. You have no idea. I know it's a little piece of a cent, but trust me, them pieces of cents add up, okay? Despise not small beginnings. All right, so any support, it's totally appreciated. Please. I'm never like too good. Not at all. Most High will 12 Tribe beard products will be at F3. They have some great stuff, y'all. I've they've been with us before a few times. Great stuff. I love their stuff. Faith in Israel, love you too, sis. I tried to buy it and said I need a Kindle. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, there's a Kindle app. If you go, I know on iPhones it's in the Apple Store. I'm pretty sure it should be in Google Play. But if you download the Kindle app, then you can download the book onto the app and you can read it on your phone. I appreciate it. Y'all have no idea. This is my first book. Okay. I have all kind of scribblings around my house, but this is the first thing that I've actually written and published and put out for public consumption. So I appreciate every single ounce of support. I appreciate every prayer. I really, really do. All right. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. I hope that something that I said was helpful to you, whether you're listening live or on the replay. At the base of the message, repent, turn away from your sins, and turn back to the Most High. Okay. That is the only way that any of us are going to get any help, especially in this crazy day and time that we are living in. I will see you guys back here next Thursday, same black time, same black station. Please excuse my husband. He has been in super hyper work mode, and now he's about to be in F3 mode. So we're trying to work on maybe him sitting down and recording Sabbath classes, and then we present it to you on Friday. We're trying to get that figured out. You know, if your intentions are good, please say a prayer for us. We're getting ready to ramp up for F3. It's a lot of moving pieces, but this is the third F3. This is like the golden F3. F3. Okay, the third F3. So yes, say a prayer for us. Please, if it is in your heart and your intentions are good. If your intentions are not good, then please don't pray for me. Don't act like you don't know me, okay? I love y'all so much. Shalom, shalom. I will see y'all next week. Good night.
Doing gang things.
Mono.
Living super clean. That it came
One time for my king doing king things. Mommy's hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I
Tune
submit.
in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue Magog. Now also available on Messiah TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss it.